everyone, this is Courtney and I'm back from Hartford Community Action Agency. And today for our 6th week and 6th lesson, we're going to talk about the protein food group. And just to reiterate about my plate tells us that we know now that half of our plate should be fruits and vegetables, a quarter green, half of them being whole grains, and then a quarter protein, which is what we're going to talk about today. So in the protein group are your typical meats that you would consider, which could be beef, poultry, pork, seafood. However, today we're going to talk about other forms of protein. So for example, sometimes we forget that beans can be a source of protein, and also other items like seeds and nuts. So we're back, and today my special guest is my husband. This is my husband, Dave. And Dave is an excellent cook. He knows his way around the kitchen. Normally, for his day job, he is a public school teacher. He's been with Hartford County Public Schools for about 24 years, right? 24 years at Havre Grace High School. He's an excellent husband, he's a wonderful father, and he's also a great teacher, and he's also a really great cook. So he's going to tell you a little bit about what we're going to make today.
For our vegetable soup, we're going to use the following ingredients. We're going to use vegetable soup broth, we're going to use cannellini beans, we're going to use some tomato paste, and then later on we're going to use some quinoa. When you're making the soup in the crock pot, we want to make sure we put the crock pot on high, and then we're going to combine all the ingredients. Remember, when you add the beans, you want to make sure you drain them first. Remember, before you cook, always wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Also for this recipe, we're going to use some fresh vegetables. We picked up these vegetables in a vegetable box from a local farm, and I'm going to introduce to you what they are. First we have kale, next we have zucchini squash, then we have a summer squash, we're going to use half of a red onion, and we're also going to use some mushrooms. When you're using fresh vegetables, make sure that you wash it in lukewarm water. Once your broth is nice and hot, the first thing that you're going to do is roughly cut up some kale. Next, we're going to cut up our zucchini and our summer squash into slices. Remember to hold back your fingers so you don't cut yourself. Next, we're going to finely dice half of a red onion. Lastly, we're going to chop up some mushrooms.
As you can see, this is starting to become a beautiful, colorful summer soup.
Lastly, once your soup starts to boil, we're going to add a half a cup of dried quinoa. If you don't want to use quinoa, you could also use brown rice or noodles.
So we're going to allow the soup to simmer inside the crock pot on high for about 2 hours or so. You can judge. Probably the most expensive thing about this recipe is actually getting the crock pot. So you can purchase a crock pot at any major store for about $24. There are a variety of sizes and kinds. I like this one because you can actually travel with it so the lid closes. But once you make that purchase up front, then you can use it throughout the year for soups and for things like this. Thank you for being here with us today as we talked about the protein group, and my husband Dave showed us how to make a really yummy bean and vegetable soup in a crock pot. And until next time, be well.